All right, here we go. So we've got some observations to make here. We've got not the exact height, not the exact color of hair. And so we're going to do this quickly. What's your name?
Jackie.
Jackie, we'll start with you. And I'm automatically, they're about the same height, but she's a little bit taller. So Jackie just went like that. So shape of the face. I'm going to have you look at that refrigerator. And I'm going to take a peek here. Jackie's got what they would call a nice square jaw. So we're going to think about that when we put that in.
And I have around everything.
And she's proud of it. All right, we're going to get that hair in, going off to the sides. So there's a reason that I often have males as an example. Males are easier to not mess up because of the rugged features.
Okay.
For a female, you have to be softer, more round, more graceful. If you don't, it just doesn't look right. And if it sounds like I'm stereotyping, that's because I am. My goal is not to be politically correct. My goal is to have someone look at it and say, I know who that is. And so if she looks like a woman, then I'm going to draw her to look like a woman. All right. Quick layout there, and we're going to definitely get those glasses in. They're nice and bold, nice part of the face.
They are actually a very nice pair of glasses.
There you go. Eyelashes go a long way in helping the drawing out. So I always try to include those. If I don't see eyelashes, then
There you go.
I might indicate them, but it's good to get those in. Hair is definitely one of those times where it's a good idea to draw with the shoulder and not the wrist, because you want the nice sweeping lines. All right, so there is a quick one of Jackie, and then we have Gina. All right, so Gina's going to come down here, and I'm going to have you switch places with Jackie. Perfect. All right, I'm going to have you look at the refrigerator too. Excellent. Actually, you know what? Look at me. That's better. Okay. Gina has eyes that kind of go up, where most eyes are kind of like that almond shape. Jackie's are kind of going up like this. I don't know if that makes sense, but maybe I'll just show you. All right, we've got the eyebrows there. Gina's nose closer to the eyes. Let's see that lovely smile. Oh boy. She was holding out on us.
You just sort of take a quick scanning face and you're like, okay, the eyes are this and the nose is this close, and then I'm going to accentuate.
You want quick. Not only is this socially awkward, but again, you get into that overthinking thing, and there just isn't time for it.
Yeah.
And I've been at home, in the comfort of my own home, working on projects and taking 2 hours to do a caricature, where at a party, you knock it out in 5 minutes. Now again, they don't always turn out the way you want, but I think there's something to that. And I believe that would translate to any media that you use, where if you always take your time with it, you might try mixing it up, giving yourself a time limit. And when that timer goes off, you're done. This is the way the animators would draw back in the early days of Disney. back when they hand drew everything.
The good old days.
The good old days. And these guys
Draw
could
like
draw.
animator draws, like everything
Just-
I see you do, because I love Disney and I watch, you know. it's
Okay,
like,
yeah. And they do the one little sweep of the line, and it's like, oh, that looks like a sphere. How did they, you know? But they did so many drawings, and they just worked so quickly that it kind of worked out. So again, we have a nice contrast. We've got kind of a stretched out, kind of a squashed down, high, low. Let's hear it for Gina and Jackie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good job.
All right. Thank you. All right. Any other questions?
Now, do you practice a lot? Just,
I do.
I mean, just to keep up.
Yes,
with the-
especially before events,
uh-huh.
because somehow you
Very physical.
forget it, you know, but it comes back quickly.
Uh-huh.
But you almost have to get the ugly ones out. You know, just 10 minutes even. Sometimes I'll show up early and try to grab a magazine and draw some quick ones. And when I first started, every time I was like, oh boy, it's going to be a long night, you know. But you just keep working through it, and by the end of the night, you're flying. You know, it kind of all comes back. But yeah, practice is a good thing.
You ever had a client that already looked like a caricature?
Oh, all the time.
And then what do? You make them look normal?
So I make them look like Norm. Yeah, and sometimes we as artists are fighting over that person, and sometimes it's a challenge itself because again you have to decide what to emphasize. It's like I don't know where to start. There's things screaming at me everywhere, so you have to limit what you're going to emphasize. Any other questions?
You've been doing this.
See, I started in 2003, so about 16 years. Yeah. One other question back there? Yeah.
I was gonna ask, like, give us a rundown of your week, like, cause I know it looks like you teach.
Uh-huh.
But you go to events too, like, so are you all freelance though?
I am all over the place.
Okay.
So I have a part-time job at Trader Joe's in Orland Park, actually not too far from here, I don't think. So I'm there 2-3 days a week. I have libraries will have me, it just depends on the season. Summers are booked with libraries.
Okay.
Throughout the year, maybe 1 or 2 a month. Other months, a handful of them. Schools, not as much as I would like, but from time to time. 2 little kids. It's all.
Yeah.
So like right now, my emphasis, I'm at a library next week and I'm doing a performance, like a superhero performance, where there's some magic tricks, there's some drawing, it's all superhero theme. I've been working on that since November. So if I'm not at an event, that's what I'm working on. As soon as that show's done, I'm gonna start on my show for the summer. So just always something.
Like, you have a website, do you have to keep up with any, like, digital, do you have people buying your work or looking into your work, or are people sending you pictures and saying,
Mhm.
picture me, do you get that kind of artwork too?
I used to advertise that until I realized that it was not paying off. It's so hard to draw from a photo, especially if you've never met the person.
Sure.
And then there's a lot of going back and forth of, can you send me another photo? They may not be happy with it. It's just a lot of back and forth. I just decided at one point I'm referring any of that because
Do
it.
you feel like the average person freezes in a picture, which makes it difficult?
That could be. Yeah, it's hard to take a 2-dimensional object and translate it. I mean, I'm translating it into 2-dimensional, but you know what I mean. I'm trying to draw something that's 3-dimensional. With who? Clint? Oh, well, good. Thank you. But it's a big challenge, and I'm at the point. I'd say most of what I do is in person. So I'm at a show or I'm at an event, but I'm not taking orders or anything like that. From time to time for friends, but
Okay.
my schedule just doesn't lend itself to that.
So you would,
So.
if a couple wanted you to draw them or something, you would do that live?
Yeah, if a couple want, I usually do events where someone's having an event and I'm there for 2 or 3 hours. I just sit down and draw.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So.
then how, if you go to an event, like, do you charge a fee to like go to the event and then people can buy the painting portraits as you do them? How do you charge?
I charge whoever's throwing the party, and actually I get hired by a lot of agents too. So they handle all that. They just tell me where to go. I sit down, I draw. It's free to the guests. Sometimes people who want to save money or make money or whatever will say, "We'll have you come. You can draw, and then we'll charge each person that kills it." It never works because, sure, let's get a caricature, it's free, but it's $20 or it doesn't matter what the price is. You put a dollar amount on it, and I tell them every time, I will just sit there and draw whatever I want because no one will be sitting for me. It's just, there's a social thing that happens, like, it's just weird. Like, there's a guy in the corner charging, we're at a party, it just doesn't work.
You could charge people $5 to get in and they'll go all over.
You could do that. Yeah, as long as you maybe separate it.
If they know they have to come to you and, it's.
Right. Yep. And it also gets a lot pickier.
Oh, yeah.
Now that I've paid money for it.
$50 for this. I don't like it. You gotta do it again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Do you do art shows still?
Not so much. She asked if I do art shows, and my interest is really in illustration right now. So I'm working towards that, doing children's books and still kind of learning that world and everything, but not yeah.
And when you do art shows, are you doing this kind of work or are you doing painting?
Well, when I first started, I was doing paintings. I did landscapes on scrap wood, and I would sell that at city festivals and whatever. But yeah, and it's kind of changed more into. Anybody else have that problem where it's hard to settle on something and you just keep? And I haven't decided if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet. But I think it's good. I'd like to end up somewhere, but in the meantime, I'm having fun, and so yeah, it's kind of more towards illustration than the fine art paintings. So yes.
Are you the Trader Joe's artist, chalk artist? Or
Sometimes.
do the signs?
Yeah, sometimes. They hired me to do that. Again, with my schedule, they kind of need someone a little more regular. But just recently, they needed a caricature of one of the employees. Like, hey, Dan, we got a job for you. So I helped with that. Yes, sir.
Do you do character illustrations?
I don't. No.
You take something that's supposed to be illustrated, but make a caricature out of it?
Mm-hmm. Like for magazines or
Yeah.
things like that. I don't.
Have you tried
No.
something, or have you thought about something?
No. Just not a real interest in it, to be honest with you. It's just, I guess that's the best way to put it, not a real interest of mine. Magazines can be hard to work with. Again, I researched that at one point and tried to break into that field. And I just realized that my schedule doesn't allow for the back and forth that typically happens, where it's like, we need you to change this, we need you to change that. It's a lot easier to just show up at an event, work, get paid, and I'm done.
You could do something like the Bean downtown or Navy Pier or something like that they want to emphasize this, and it's against kind of background.
Sure.
Or maybe an airport where they've got some new terminal or something.
Yep. But it's all about the connections. And if you don't know who is looking for that, there's a lot of self-promotion that's necessary, and getting out there. And I'm not saying these are bad ideas. I'm just trying to be realistic. Someone's got to be doing that. You're going to either hire someone to do that for you, or like most of us, we do everything, and then you got less time for the art. So I just got to a point where I just said, nah, I'm not interested in that. So great ideas. Yeah.
Online on the.
Oh.
I'm
No, you're
sorry.
good.
I
You're
thought
good.
okay.
Interception.
Online, I watched your demo on the lion. Was
Yes.
that watercolor or acrylic in the water?
That was acrylic paint.
Acrylic paint.
Yeah. And I painted a lion It's about this big, and I bring that into the schools because I did 7 stages of it so that I can show each stage of the painting. Kids love it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
2 questions, somewhat related. I guess this could apply to everyone here. Any tips for self-management and freelancing as an artist? Maybe something that something in your creative process that you would recommend doing. And also, I think another hard part is assigning value to your art. So, are you undervaluing yourself, or are you overvaluing yourself? So how do you find that balance where you can assess that?
Yeah. So how do you evaluate what to charge and all that? I think you just need to be open and get out there. And I told you about the city festival that I did. They were all free. That was the best decision I made because I made really stupid, mistakes. Kids are always looking all over the place. I drew a kid with an eye going that way and that way, but it was free. So it's like, hey, take it. It's kind of an art, no pun intended, but you want to get a feel for, I'm going to just get out there and I'm going to do some volunteer work or whatever. And then you say, I think this is worth something. And these are my rates. And I think I find personally, I go back and forth. So I say, I think we need to jack the price up. And I did that just recently with schools. I really put the price up. Well, then I stopped getting calls. Well, then I maybe inch it back down a little bit. You just kind of have to get a feel for it. Unless you're going to call other entertainers or other artists and say, hey, what are you charging? Or act like you're a client. To me, that's shady. That's just not how I want to do it. So you just kind of play the game. And it's kind of fun sometimes. Sometimes it's frustrating. But as far as the self-promotion, I would imagine you're on social media.
Yeah, basically all of my professors told me that in the creative field, if you're not on social media, then you can pretty much consider yourself irrelevant. Like, as harsh as that sounds, it's just the truth,
Yeah.
honestly. In my opinion, if somebody is on a social media site, then they're non-existent, and employers will think the same way of me. If
Right.
I don't have a LinkedIn or a Facebook or an Instagram or anything
Yep.
like that, so.
I went to a talk at a library, and she was talking about being an author of books. And she said, if you go to a book company, they're going to say, how big is your following?
Right, yeah,
That's
the other bad thing.
That's the
about
world
it,
we're
is
in.
then you're-
Right.
yeah.
So you don't it doesn't matter how amazing your book is. They want to know, if we're going to spend money on you, that you have a following. So that's our job. We've got to promote that. I personally, I'm not a fan of social media, but I like videos. So she mentioned the video. I love doing YouTube videos, and that's been pretty good. That's a good way to market yourself.
What's your YouTube channel?
It's Dan Lieb. Lieb is Laib, and then Studios. Yeah, and I just put a video up there last month on the color wheel, and also the lion painting. And then there's a lot of videos of me just practicing cartoons. So I'll take a cartoon and I'll talk through it. It's really taught me a lot. It's not got a lot of views, and I'm okay with that, but it's just getting out there, letting people know who you are. And I think that's really the key to self-promotion, is if you can offer something for free. So I have cartoon videos that maybe have 10 views. The lion painting, I don't know what happened to that thing. It went crazy. There's like 50,000 or something crazy like that. I don't even know. Every day I'm seeing new subscriber, all because of that one video. So
If you post this one, can we link it? Like, can I somehow
Sure.
link it? Like, put a link on our website to it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm still kind of
Post it or
exactly.
do anything
Yep.
with it, just let
Yeah.
us know, or I'll check back on your
Yeah, absolutely.
promo for us too.
Yeah, happy to do that.
So,
Definitely. Yep.
cool.
Yeah. 8:33.
we're right on time, yeah, I mean, if you have, I don't know if you have anything else to show, but if you guys wanna go up and look close, make sure you members go for back of the hall, and we just all wanna be out of here by 10 to 9, so, thank you guys, and thank you, Dan. Oh, yeah,
I've
Dan.
got, I'll put them over here. Thank you. I've got some handouts. And don't forget to get your special gift.